Hey everybody, here's our daily meditation for the 11th of July. I love light nights. I wish they could last all year, but already our world is spinning toward the darker seasons of the year. How do we deal with darkness? Well, usually these days we put the light on and shelter beneath its cheerful glow. In our verse for today, we look at doing the same thing in terms of dispelling a different category of darkness, that of the shade of a hopeless soul. Our meditation today comes from the Old Testament book of 2 Samuel, and specifically chapter 22 and verse 29, in which David, the king of Israel, declares, "For you are my lamp, O Lord, and my God lightens my darkness." This is a lovely verse found in the centre of the last 4 chapters of 2 Samuel. These chapters form an epilogue to the book as a whole. The episodes within them are arranged concentrically, with the centre sections being Psalms. The 22nd chapter is probably the base text from which Psalm 18 was written. In Psalm 18, the Hebrew is more polished. It's a retrospective declaring God's acts of faithfulness to his servant. Have a look at verse 1. In our specific text, David pictures God as his lamp. This idea has particular reference to the notion of hope. Earlier in this book's storyline, David himself is described by his soldiers as the lamp of Israel, that is their hope. Further back still, there's an interesting interplay between the idea of the lamp of God's presence in the tabernacle not going out and the idea of remaining hope for God's people. But that's for another sermon entirely. What I want to impart to us today is the fact that just as a physical lamp literally dispels darkness, the metaphor David employs shows us that God's presence, power, and purpose in our lives has exactly the same effect. I know that our circumstances and feelings are often contrary to hopefulness, but that is more often than not because the focus of our hope has shifted from the lamp to some aspect of what has been lit. In other words, from the giver to the gifts, from the creator to our circumstances. In order to be steady in our hope, we must do as David did and remember that if our hope is in God, then it will not be shaken. How do we do that? Well, we need to draw near to Christ, and then we draw near to him again and again and again. This is the way to lighten our darkness and find true hope in all our circumstances. Lest we think this is some sort of a call to a form of continual, solitary, mystical action, I want to be clear. Drawing near to Christ means repeatedly engaging in obedience to his word over the long term. Opening our Bibles, praying, studying, fellowshipping with other Christians in public worship and communion. Doing all these things whether we feel like it or not. For God has ordained that these actions, when done in faith, are transformative. So often we get this wrong. Christians all too easily succumb to the wiles of the enemy and the lax instincts of our sinful nature, which combine to tell us that we should look inward and withdraw into ourselves till we feel better able to cope or until things change. This is a lie from the pit and a huge misstep. The end result of this is only increasing darkness and ultimate loss. Christian, lighten your darkness today. Put the light on by drawing near to Christ. God bless.